Hello. Today I'm making a video focused on two techniques using PVA glue. So I'm going to do those two techniques with PVA glue, and I'm also going to do those two same techniques with my normal base that I use with my acrylic colors. So let's get started. I'm going to start out by showing you guys how I mix my colors with the PVA glue, and then how I mix the base colors with my normal medium that I use, which is actually this white. So let's get started. What I'm going to start doing is shake this. Honestly, I've never used PVA glue. This is a tester for myself to learn, but I thought I might as well show everybody else just so you guys can learn with me. Okay. So first I just want to get myself familiar with what the consistency is like, and it reminds me of like the normal consistency that I go for when I am pouring. So I don't really know if I need to put white pigment in because it is already white, but I'm just going to anyway, just in case, because I don't want it to dry clear. That would be kind of silly. So with acrylic, when I just do an acrylic pour, I'm not really too stressed about the amount of pigments that I put in with my base. However, I just want to make sure that it's the consistency that I want. So this is a little thicker than I normally do, but I'm not too sure if I can add water to this. I'm just going to quickly look. Just because it is quite thick, and with the paint it's not going to make it any thinner. So I'm actually going to add some water, which I have in a water bottle, just to help me get that right consistency. Honestly, I just eyeball it and stir until I get like a nice creamer, like coffee creamer consistency. So it's still liquidy, but doesn't just like run straight off. Yeah, that looks good. It'll have enough movement to it, but still thick enough for me. So I'm gonna put that over there. And I'm probably gonna put a little less PVA glue because I'm probably not gonna need quite that much. There we go. Oops, oops, oops. Okay. And I just got this PVA glue at Bunnings for, I believe, $11. So next we're going to do the green. I just shook it up a bit because I haven't used this pigment in a while. Okay. Stir it again. I think this green will be really nice and vibrant. So that's exactly what I'm going for. And I've found that this white poster paint tends to run a little thicker than all of the other paints. So with this, I'm actually not going to add any water to it because it does have a nice consistency right off the bat. I'm actually going to do a little more than that. And then I'm going to do this slate blue, even though it's definitely a purple. And I'm going to actually check this. Okay, cool. Just going to glob this in. And I got most of these pigments, actually all of these pigments at Lincraft. I don't really use them anymore just because they don't work too well with resin, just because they do have a higher amount of water in them. And that doesn't really work well with the curing. I don't know if this PVA Okay, I made that way too thin. Now it's all chunky. I don't know if the PVA glue likes this specific acrylic brand. I'm just gonna add a little more PVA to it. Again, this is me just trying and learning from my mistakes, just because I haven't found too many super informative videos about this, or I would say honest ones, just because a lot of people tend not to share their mixing medium information. I don't know if I'm actually going to use this purple because it actually has, like, can you see on the stick, some chunks? I'm just going to put that to the side and debate about it. Okay. Now I'm doing the Reeves Pale Powder Blue, which I love this. It's just such a nice pastel color, and I think it'll actually really work with the really vibrant green. Okay, I might just work with those three colors. Just gonna make it a little thicker. And with experience, you just find what consistency works for you personally, because some people like a lot of movement and some people want a little more control. And you know, the thicker it is, you'll have like a little more control if you want to tilt it a bit. So that's always nice. But obviously trial and error costs a lot of money, so that is why I am trying to do that for you guys. Okay, so these are the three colors I'm going to work with, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the two techniques with the PVA on these two, and then we'll move to doing the same techniques but with my normal mixing medium. So let's get started. So what I'm going to do is, one technique I'm going to try and do a swipe with it, and then the other one I'm going to try and do a tree ring swirl. Just because I've tried doing swipes before and I have not been very successful. So I'm going to use white as the base color actually, and I'm just going to put that over this failed attempt and start from there. And by doing this, this allows the paint to automatically want to move in that way, like disperse itself better, kind of like a primer, which I already have painted over it, but I rather just do it for safety precautions because I don't want to have to scratch this one either. But anyway, this doesn't have to be perfect. Just a little simple base coat to it. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I will do lines of these colors, and then I'll have white as the base color. And honestly, I've tried doing swipes so many times and I have failed horribly. I think it's definitely the pigments I'm using, and the medium that I'm using, because a lot of people with really nice cells use Floetrol, and I went out to buy Floetrol today, but my Bunnings doesn't sell it, which is annoying. So I have to either order it online or drive around town because they don't sell them at any Bunnings in my area, which is really weird, but anyway. I went to PVA glue because I've heard great things about that. Okay. So, let's see, what do I want to use to swipe? I'm actually just going to use this little paddle. I'm kind of scared, I don't want to ruin this. But anyway, I'm just going to swipe in this direction and hopefully I get some nice cells or movement or something. I'm going to laugh if this turns to a dud. Okay. And it's a dud. Somebody teach me how to make cells. Guys, I need your help, please. I mean, I see air bubbles, but that's not what I'm looking for. Anyway, that was a waste. Do I need to put like more pressure? Do I need to put some silicone oil? I have this. I might actually do silicone, like another swipe with silicone oil with the white. And yeah, so I'm gonna do another base coat. Sorry, I'm not very good at talking while creating. Okay, that looks sufficient to me. And I am going to do it again. This same setup, but should I add? I'm just gonna add silicone oil to the white. I'll add like, that was like 3 or 4 drops. And I'm only going to mix a few times, like big mixes, because I've heard, there we go, that makes good cells. Sounds like there's a thunderstorm a-brewing. Oops. That's okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. And I might add purple. Right there. Okay. And then the white with the silicone oil is going down here. And then the truth will reveal itself. And that was another waste. I mean, I see the silicone. Well, sorry guys, this was a little bit of a fail. I had really high hopes for this too. Okay, so I see, ooh, yeah. Ooh. I see cells, but they're quite tiny. Ooh, look at that. The mystery has unveiled itself. Sorry, I'm such a dork. Okay, I don't want to over torch this, but there are some cells happening here. Not what I was looking for. I was looking for a more intense, signified, like a lot larger cells. I don't know if I just put too much silicone with it, But honestly, I might just scrape this one off before it dries, just because, I mean, that's a complete waste. So I will put this to the side and see how it dries. There is a lot of paint, so it probably will crack, but I am just trying to learn here, guys. So let's move this to the side and focus on this dude. I am going to like just swipe off all of this. Oh my god, this hurts my soul. Okay. So that's sufficient enough for now. What I'm gonna do is I will just do the swirl technique that I was originally gonna do. This does have silicone oil in it, just remember that. I'm going to put a base right here, and then I'm going to mix the 3 colors together. So I'm going to put white on bottom, just a little white. I'm curious how these cells are gonna go, and I might actually, I'm not even gonna mix it. I'm gonna see what happens, guys. I just put some silicone oil into this, and then I'm going to go with some green. I'm sorry, I'm a massive dork. Massive. Just gonna use up all that green. And then the purple, blob it on in there. I feel like it needs like another color, but you know, I messed that up with this purple. Ew, it's so chunky. Yuck. It looks like cottage cheese. That's disgusting. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can get a little more green out of this. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and focus in the middle area and just let it pour out, and with that I'm going to try and do like a little circular motion, and hopefully this will push out the white. And with this, I've found that it's really hard to like stay in the center. I always end up following wherever the center kind of moves, which I probably do to myself. Okay, so I'll just stop there. And I'm going to tilt it a bit because it looks like it really wants to go in that direction. Just making sure it gets all of those corners. I kind of want to keep what's going on here. So I don't really have much left. I guess I'm forced to move it. Honestly, it doesn't look bad. It just looks like a little too muted for my personal vibe. I think if it had more of like the purplish blue, then it would look good. But this does look very minimalistic, and you know, that's always good. Very simple. And now I'm going to torch it and see if I can get any cells to pop up, because right now I'm not really seeing anything. I do like these tree rings right here. I'm pleasantly surprised. Could have been better, but you know, gotta work with what you got. Okay, so I have some nice tiny cells popping up. You know, it'll add a little more depth to this piece, so that's nice. Ooh, yeah, this side looks good. Okay. So I think I'm happy with that. And honestly, it didn't turn out horrible compared to the first one. So I'm going to bring this first or second one over. These are the two PVA glue techniques. So one is the stripe and then the swipe, not the stripe. Oh my gosh. So swipe and then the swirl. And now I'm going to do those two same techniques with my normal medium, which is this base poster paint from Lincraft. So let's get started with that. So here's a little more detailed shot of the cells that appeared in the swipe. And then here's a closer shot of the cells that came out in the tree ring swirl. It does look really nice. I do wish that I had a little more bluish purple in this, but I think the colors work. It looks a little yellow, but I dig it. Oh no, oh no. I have to save that little bug. Hold on guys, I'll be back. So I actually decided with this one, I'm going to use some different colors. I'm going to use the colors that are actually on here. So I'm going to have the poster paint that is white, and then this high flow, which is Peachy Life, and this one is Emerald, just for a little different color tone, as well as the Pale Powder Blue, which were in the first two that I did, just because I think I would get a little bored of the color palette. So we're going to start mixing these together. I'm sorry, my workplace is so messy, it's embarrassing. Okay, I will start with the white just because normally that is the base. And I actually, hopefully I have enough. Yeah, whatever. We'll see what happens. Sorry guys, I'm a strange one. Very, very strange. So now I just poured in some water to help make this a little more thin. I will have to add a little more white pigment to it just because I made it a little too thin, which happens every once in a while. You just gotta make it work. Yeah. Okay, mix it again. And I made it too thick. How funny. I'm just gonna put a little dab of water. Okay, that seems to be the consistency that I like. Actually, a little more. I'm talking bologna today. Vegan bologna, guys. Yeah, okay. And then I will do the blue or emerald. Looks like I should have bought some of this today. Okay, let's stick with that. Gonna shake the emerald. And then just start with that. And this does have like a little metallic glow to it once it's all dried, which is really nice. I didn't really even realize that in the actual container. I feel like I'm gonna want a little more of that actual pigment, so I'm going to make more. I just splattered white paint all over me. That's okay. Seriously, this is pathetic. Okay, gonna have that tipped over. And I actually do prefer mixing this color with the white poster paint just because I think it is a little too intense of a color for me. It dries really dark. So I'm gonna add a little more of this. Doop, doop. Seems good. Mix it all together. I cannot sing for shit. Okay. That seems nice to me. I wish I could play music in the background, but I do not want to get copywritten. That would be no fun. No, no, no. Yeah. Solid. And then now I'm going to do the pale powder blue. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. I really should have been slightly more prepared, but whatevs. Yeah. And I'm going to automatically pour some water in there. Nice. I'm really pushing it here. Okay. Actually, instead of doing pink, I'm going to use the green, just because I think the purple and the blue are quite pastel and soft colors, and the green seems really vibrant to me. So I'm going to go with that because that feels better. I seem to change my decisions quite often. Cool. And then add a little water to that. Mix and mix and mix. This is quite chunky. Chunky monkey. Chunky monkey. Okay, there we go. Looking good, looking good. Pretty thick. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing as I did before. I have all of these colors, and I will add the silicone oil into the white, the base white, just because, but first, so I don't see this too much, I'm gonna spread this everywhere if I can get it off. Okay. Sweet. That seems good to me. And then now I will add the silicone oil. You know, I just put however many drops I want. Boop, boop. Gonna swirl it like, there we go. And now to pour for this wipe. Hopefully this comes out nice because I really like this color combo. Oops, that's okay. That is okay, I will manage, no stress. I feel like I've been working with like really girly colors. Very girly colors lately. But I think it's because I'm happy because it is summer now in Brisbane. Or feels like it at least. I'm going to do a little green here. Bloop, 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 bloop. Ooh, okay. And some green here. Come on, you got it. Cool. I'm not stressing too much about it. And then white, and you can see the silicone oil in this. So now I'm going to swipe it, and maybe, okay, I'm just gonna do it the same way that I did it with the other one, just so you can see the different results. You know what, I'm gonna go, I did it different, guys, I'm sorry. I changed my mind, I had to do it. This has more color than before, so that's nice. And I'm going to torch it and see if I can, you know, aggravate some cells in it. Okay, this looks nicer than the first one, for sure. Still not getting the cells that I want. I want bigger and better cells. And I don't want to over torch, but you know, sometimes that helps bring out the cells that I'm looking for. Okay, so I'm good with that. I'm happy. I am still looking for a different look to that, but you know, I'm getting one step closer. So I'm gonna put that to the side and then focus on this one. So now we're doing the swirl tree ring technique, and I'm going to add a few more dots to this white. And I'm not going to stir it at all. I'm just going to put it in the center and see what happens. Cool, that should be sufficient. I'm gonna add some more. I'm just really wanting some cells, guys. Okay. So now I'm going to mix a few colors in, similar to a dirty pour. Just stack the colors. So I started with the emerald blue, and then I'm going in with the green. And I kind of pour it like messy, if that makes sense. I don't try and just pour it in one spot. Can you see that? Just so, you know, maybe it helps add a little depth to it. Who knows? I really love this pale blue. Definitely a purple, but let's see if I can get any more of this emerald. Cool. Now I'm gonna top it off with the green, just because I want to make sure that I have enough colors. Okay, now I'm going to start the swirl technique again. I'm going to start in the middle and hopefully get some nice action, guys. Ooh, I'm going a little too fast. Okay, trying to slow down with the amount of paint coming out. There we go. This kind of looks like poopy and muddled. Let's see how it turns out. Ooh, kind of chunky. Chunky monkey. Okay, so I'm gonna stick with that, because this was very messy. Yes, indeed. I have a massive chunk in the middle. I don't know, 2, 3, 4. Good job, Bethany, with your mixing skills. You did great. Sarcasm. Just trying to make sure that I cover all of those corners on the canvas. And honestly, I thought it looked like crap before I tilted it. So now I'm going to go back in with a toothpick and see if I can get these ugly chunks out. hate it when I do that. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna use these to try and make a tweezer. The precision. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna torch it and see if, you know, they're all gone, and see if I get some nice cells from this. So nothing, you know, world renowned is happening here right now. Whoa. Okay. So it looks like I do have to go back still and get this little bud out. There we go. There's one. I ruined it. Okay, I'm going to go back with the torch. Hopefully that doesn't dry to be a massive chunk. I have mixed feelings about all of these. They are not what I expected, but they still look okay. So I just wanted to go over them quickly again. These are the two pours that were done with PVA glue, and then these are the two pours that are done with my normal medium, which is just my poster, white poster paint, and water, and then whatever pigment I'm looking for. I was trying to focus on learning a little more about how to do lacing and cells. It was definitely a learning experience, and I still have a lot to go. So if you guys have any recommendations on how to get bigger cells with PVA glue or even Floetrol, I would love to hear it. But I will add a little end clip of how all of these ended up drying because I'm quite curious myself. So thanks again, guys.